Okay, Saturday morning and I'm back on the motorhome. Last video I showed you putting up this panel. Well, I've taken it back off because I've got to cut some holes in it. And what I'm going to be putting in here is this monitor for the solar panels. This lets me know what kind of power I'm getting out of my solar panels and the status of the batteries. The next one is USB charging port, so I've got 4 of those. I got 2 of them that are 1 amps and 2 of them that are 2 amps each. Got a GPS, this is a fuse, the radio, a switch for the remote on the the inverter. So I can just turn it off and on from up here rather than having to go back there. And this is a meter that's going to give me information on the status of my batteries, and as well as, more importantly, how much power I'm drawing down from all the equipment that I have up here, including when I get this installed for the radio equipment, everything. It'll let me know just what kind of power I'm drawing on it and where my batteries are. So, all good information. I do have this bus panel right here. This is 12 volt, and so the positive cable connects to the bottom, the negative cable connects to the top, and that is going to mount up in there. I'm going to put a piece of plywood vertical on that board that I will screw down to this base plate here, and then put this thing on it so it will be upright as well. I'll have this red cable that comes in from my battery, from the coach batteries. It'll connect in to this fuse box, and then it will continue on with that cable, as I said earlier, over here to that Anderson distribution block as well. So that's the plan right there, to get this thing in, hook up all of these devices with power that I've got here. So I'll have several things that are running power that'll give me some good information and let me know where things are. All right, I need to get to work to get some of this stuff mounted in here, get some holes cut in my board over here in the panel so that we can get some of these other things mounted in as well. All right, let me get to that and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, a little progress report. I've got the bus panel mounted in the hole where it's going to be going. I've got the main power wires coming from, this one comes from my battery bank, and of course this other one leads over to where all the radio equipment is going to be. So there we go. I've got that in and mounted. Now it's just a matter of making some wires to come off the top 12, 6 on either side. Those are the negative, and the ones going down the sides at the bottom, those are my positive leads, and that's where my fuses will go to each one of those that I put in. Okay, let me get to work on that, and we'll be back in a bit. Okay, I've got the fuse panel all wired in. I just need to run a few more things from the back. I still have to run the coax, or not the coax, but the Cat 5 cable, which is I'm going to use for just multi-purposes, to wire into the switch for the remote control on the inverter, and also I'm going to have that hooked to the leads that give me the amperage draw off my batteries. So I've got to do that, but everything else is wired in, and so now all I've got to do is, here's the back of the panel with the different things there. So I'm going to now, I'll put the panel back on and let you see what it looks like from there, and we're going to call that a wrap for today. Okay, there's the panel in place back on the dash, covering up the big black hole that was there. So starting on the top left, we've got the ham radio. That's the Yaesu FTM 400. Below that is the GPS. Below that is the meter that will give me the voltages and current draw from the batteries. And on the top right is my meter from the solar charge controller, and that will give me information on how much power I am putting into the batteries. Below that is the remote switch for the inverter, and below that is the receptacles for the USB charging ports. So got 4 of those that are in that little panel as well. So there it is. That's a wrap. I think that's good. Like I had said earlier, I've still got to run a few more wires to give the switch operational and to get the power draw from the batteries. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have, give me a thumbs up. It would be appreciated. And always, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Talk to you later.